Batter up. MLB The Show is back for 2021. The game of baseball might not change much from year to year, but San Diego Studio knows how to combine just the right amount of fresh ingredients with the classic baseball experience to bring new life to the diamond with each iteration of the show. So how does this year's title stack up for gamers who are strapped for time? Step up to the plate and find out in our Busy Gamer review of MLB The Show 21. Welcome back to No Time Gamer. Subscribe to make sure your gaming sessions are time well spent. There's one glaring reality that will stare you right in the face when you load up the game for the first time. This game is absolutely freaking massive for a sports game. Remember when you pretty much had your choice of playing exhibition games or a full season with your team of choice? Those days have obviously been gone for a while, but the ridiculous amount of choices for gameplay types, control styles, character customizations, and more will almost overwhelm you if you're new to the franchise. But once you get into it, you'll realize that's not a bad thing at all. In fact, the more I played the game, the more I loved the variety of game modes there are. With that said, there's honestly way too much to cover in an amount of time that's acceptable for the busy gamer, so we'll keep focused mainly on the 4 major game modes that are the heart of this game: Road to the Show, Diamond Dynasty, Franchise, and March to October, along with some notable mentions for good measure. First up, we have Road to the Show, which is the most immersive game mode available. You'll start from the absolute bottom as a fresh prospect in the minor leagues. The game has a storyline built around your player being a two-way player, that is, both a pitcher and a position player. I think this is done to make sure you're not just simming your way through the schedule. But let me be frank, trying to advance successfully as a two-way player absolutely sucks. You'll never amount to much if you're not dedicating enough time to pitching while you're out in the field every other night. And you'll never amount to much as a hitter when you're pitching, because you most likely won't hit because of the DH. My advice, stick to one or the other, or create 2 players if you so desire, but don't do both at once. Anyway, as I mentioned, this mode is very immersive in that you have to manage everything about your player, from the way you perform on the field to the way you train and prepare for games off the field. And you'll even have to deal with interactions with your coaches and your agent based on certain decisions you make. This can be a lot to juggle, but given that you're only responsible for your own players' actions on the field, I'm cool with it. As a position player especially, games move very quickly. You don't have to worry about controlling your whole team at the plate, on the bases, or in the field. It really makes you feel like you're in control of your own destiny, which is the whole point. We didn't get to play long enough to get caught up to the majors yet, but this mode definitely has kept us interested. Then we come to Diamond Dynasty. This is the mode for people who hate baseball and wish MLB The Show was a giant game of managing menus and grinding for stat-boosting collectibles. This kind of mode exists in just about every major sports title, and I don't see the appeal as a busy gamer. It sounds great. Get a random starting roster of low-level players and build your team from a bunch of nobodies to an all-star caliber lineup full of current-day heavy hitters and legends from the past. But man, you're gonna grind. Challenge after challenge, game after game, just hoping to get that random good pack that gives you a great player or a stat boost. Modes like Diamond Dynasty are everything that is wrong with the modern gaming landscape. Random drops, minor stat increases, grinding like mad, and weak incentives that push you to spend real money for upgrades. The challenges can be fun. Having one at bat to hit a home run or striking out the side with a late inning lead make for small nuggets of enjoyment, but these could have been done outside of this grindy mode and been way more fun. And the weirdest element of Diamond Dynasty is the Conquest mode. Here you literally move numbers on a shaped chart until you get to a team logo. Then you can play a baseball game all in the goal of taking over these polygon-shaped maps. WTF, who is this for? Not a busy gamer. I got a baseball game, so damn it, I want baseball, not this garbage. Franchise mode, on the other hand, is just what you expect, and in a good way. For return players to MLB The Show, it hasn't changed, and that's okay. It's still a big mode with lots to do, but it's the way it's designed that makes it enjoyable. Of course, you have all the options to manage every aspect of your favorite Major League franchise, from scouting players, getting sponsors, and making all the roster moves, but you also get to control the fate of your minor league farm club as well. You can control as little or as much as you like. Don't want to worry about mid-season injuries on your farm team? Let the AI deal with it. Not concerned with every player's contract extensions? Let the AI GM handle it. Typically, I keep my control high level, letting the AI handle a lot of the minutia. I simulate a large amount of games during the regular season, occasionally stopping to take control during a close, late inning game, or maybe playing a full game if time allows. The flexibility is what makes franchise mode great, and its customization of control makes it enjoyable no matter how deep or shallow you want to be. Finally, let's touch on the March to October mode. Here you'll choose a team and play scenarios to keep your team hot as you advance through a season for a playoff push. This has easily been my favorite mode to play when I don't have a lot of time on my hands because you never play a full game. You'll be given tasks like pin a loss on a division rival or perform well to earn a season-long player boost, in which you'll generally only be playing from the 7th inning or later for that game. This has strong appeal for the busy gamer because you can complete 2 or 3 games over the course of a half hour, if not more. Honestly, I found it easy to lose track of time because this mode is so much fun. When you get on a roll and your team is staying hot, it's easy to just keep playing game after game. But if you're short on screen time, you can make a good bit of progress during a reasonably short gaming session. The biggest addition to this year's game is the Stadium Creator. This mode gives you absolute freedom to build the stadium of your dreams. Start from a blank canvas or choose from a huge catalog of starter stadiums and customize them to your heart's content. I've not dug far enough into this mode to create anything crazy just yet, but I will say that there's a huge bounty of options to add to your ballpark. There's everything from different types of stands, press boxes, scoreboards, screens, walls, skyscrapers, water features, roads, and so much more that I can't even begin to cover. The one thing that I've found is that getting things to line up just right to the grid can be frustrating, especially if you're as obsessive about things like symmetry and alignment as I am. Regardless, the world is literally at your fingertips in this mode, and I hope to spend some more time with it in the future. To touch on a few more of the general points on this game, maybe one of the best characteristics is the ability to customize the difficulty to your liking. It offers so many different ways to hit, pitch, field, and run the bases that you can make it as complex as you want, or so easy that even young kids can have a good time playing. Maybe it would be nice if they offered a profile system for changing difficulty settings quickly, so that people who share the game with kids, or people who might just like a more relaxed game style, could swap quickly, but that's a minor gripe. Speaking of difficulty settings, we absolutely love the new pinpoint pitching mode for this year. It is truly skill-based, meaning you get out of it exactly what you put in, and that's awesome. It's so satisfying to nail the gesture and throw a perfect pitch. One of the biggest negatives about the game we can think of is the menu layout is nothing short of disappointing. It's pretty bland to look at, and nothing really stands out as you scroll through. Again, this is almost a non-issue in the grand scheme of things. MLB The Show 21 is clearly one of the more iterative releases in the franchise, but that's about what we'd expect for a sports game right now. Even with all the pandemic pandemonium over the last 15 months, and the fact that the game is basically uncontested, they didn't put out a lazy game. It still offers plenty to love, especially for newcomers to the franchise on Xbox. The ability to play the game in as detailed or as streamlined a way that you want is a busy gamer's dream. Sports games usually don't have too much to offer in terms of variety, but this game has given us more than we could have ever asked for in a baseball game. So for busy gamers, MLB The Show 21 is time well spent.